off on it,
What do we
but I
need,
think we can.
3/4 on it?
Of the lots and 60% of the property owners. That's what our notes are from last time, and I think. Have it in.
Yep, we're good.
Let's call the meeting to order, please. Take the roll.
Mayor Zakowski.
Here.
Alderman Vries.
Here.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Here.
Alderman Gartner. Alderman Volkert.
Here.
Alderman Montello.
Here.
And I have Alderman Kittle as absent.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, liberty and justice for all.
Your motion to adopt the agenda as proposed.
I
and
will make that motion, or I'll second it if somebody else spoke.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Public comments. We have one public comment. Donovan Sullivan. Here to the microphone, please, and state your name and address.
All right, thank you for having me here today. I'm Donovan Sullivan. I'm the safety manager for the school bus company here, Cobus and Buses. First off, I want to thank Noah because I brought to him attention concerning our ordinance 82-56 concerning when we can and cannot use our school bus red warning lights. And I brought that up to him last week, a concern of mine, and it's already on the agenda this week. So that's pretty quick turnaround. So he has the same sense of urgency that I do on this one. So currently our statute says, or not statute, our ordinance says that 3 things need to be true when using our red warning lights on school bus in a business or residential district. Okay, so first, the students have to cross in front of you. There cannot be curb or sidewalk on either side of the street, and it can't be controlled. So if any of those cases are not true, we go to state statute, and that says that we shall not use our red warning lights. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if there's students in the road, I don't want traffic to be going. I want traffic to be stopped. And so I have a couple of scenarios that I've seen myself when I'm subbing en route. I'm not a full-time driver, but I will often sub en route when needed. So I had a kid drop something in the road in front of me with my 4-ways on because I'm in a residential or business district with a curb and sidewalk on either side. I cannot use my reds, okay? That kid dropped something and it blew into the road. The kid went after it. If traffic was not stopped, I'm confident that kid would have been struck. The second one is about a SPED student, special education. This one is a major concern. Escaped the custody of his mother, who was off to the right when I was discharging. And that student got loose and played tag around the bus with that mom. If traffic was not stopped for that's inviting something bad to happen. I also had one other case so within this year. I had a kid coming out to get on the bus, and their pet cat got loose. That cat went under the bus, and that kid went after it. If traffic was not stopped in that case, it's inviting a world of hurt to happen to these kids. So really, I just want to end on the question that I presented here is if we have students that could potentially be in the road, do we want traffic stopped or not? And that's where I'm going to end it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The consent agenda, and I just mentioned that a donation of $500 from Myrtle Munns to the New Richmond Police Department K-9 Fund. Motion to approve the consent.
I'll offer that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Continuing business, ordinance 629, plan unit development to support affordable housing.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. This item of business was discussed at our most recent work session. We discussed creating or updating our ordinance to allow for planned unit developments to encourage more affordable housing options in the community. This essentially provides more flexibility to developers. If there's something that they feel like in our standard zoning ordinance or subdivision ordinance that they'd like to see perhaps an exception made to make, for example, it could be smaller lot sizes or it could be lot coverage requirements, something that would maybe allow them to have greater density or be able to bring the cost down to a more affordable option. This gives them a process to do so as compared to just following our standard ordinance. And so based on the direction from the work session, staff have drafted the ordinance that's included in the packet. This really outlines what the purpose of this ordinance is, and then it really gets into the requirements and the approval process. And so a developer would have a pre-application conference with city staff just to talk through the process and timeline. They would submit a concept plan that would go to the Plan Commission and the City Council. After a concept plan, they would then either, again, depending if this was going to be a new subdivision or if this was a multifamily project, they would have to submit all the documentation that they otherwise would for preliminary and final plat or for a site plan. And then if that development plan was approved by the council, a development agreement would be required after that. So it's a multi-step process. There'd be a public hearing associated with it. We feel it would provide, again, another option for developers to hopefully help provide more affordable housing options here in the community. So from a staff perspective, we would recommend approval of the ordinance. This would also require you to suspend the rules, and we would want our city attorney to do a final review if there's any final edits. So happy to answer any questions that you have on this item.
I guess it's a question, because it sounds like a statement, but we're doing this really only to facilitate more affordable housing.
Correct. Yeah. So years ago, planned unit developments may have been allowed for other factors, but those are really based just for affordable housing. So in the past, communities may have allowed a PUD, smaller lot sizes, greater density, and then maybe in exchange for that, the developer would have granted more parkland, or they would have done something above and beyond what was required, but it didn't have anything necessarily to do with affordable housing, or in this case, that is really the primary driver.
I'm trying to get my, I'm having a little problem with my tablet here.
Finally.
Yeah, well, I want to offer a motion, suspend the rules and offer a motion that we approve this planned unit development ordinance to support affordable housing as it's been presented.
Second.
Third.
Fourth.
That's suspending the rules then?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Not, take the roll, please.
Alderman Vries.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Passes. New business, ordinance 630, school bus warning lights.
And as you heard during the public comment period, Donovan had reached out recently, just last week, and Chief Yalick and I looked at the ordinance. This actually hadn't been updated for some time. And really, included in your packet, you can see the proposed ordinance as well as a redlined copy. And really, the intention of this is to make it clear that if students are being dropped off or picked up, that the bus operators should be activating their warning lights and traffic should be stopped in both directions, whether you're behind the bus or approaching. And regardless of whether there's curb on one side or both sides or a sidewalk on one side, but that if kids are potentially crossing the road, or even if, again, some of the examples he gave, even if the child lives on that side of the street, it's not necessarily out of question to think that they might run across the road for something else. And so we really felt it was appropriate to update the ordinance accordingly. So happy to answer any questions that you have on it.
But it's not in a school bus loading zone. The red light should be on then.
Right. Yep.
I'm going to offer a motion that we approve the ordinance. Do we need to suspend the rules again?
Yes.
Suspend those rules again. I like that. And as presented, I think, and I just want to add, whatever's safest, that's what we should be doing.
Second that.
Discussion? If not, take the roll.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Vries.
Yes.
Passes.
And thanks for coming forward with this. Appreciate it.
I don't know if you know or not, but I'm on the school board, so I was really happy to hear about it. Thank you. Yeah, you have. I didn't know if you remembered me or not, but I try to be.
You're memorable, Greg.
I try to be behind the chair,
Forgettable.
yeah. But thank you for doing that. I do appreciate it, yeah.
Next item, ordinance 631, lead service line replacements.
Mayor and council, before you is a revised ordinance for lead service line replacement. In 2024, the Utility Commission recommended and the council approved us to establish a loan assistance program for the utility replacement of lead service line on the private side of the line. The program would allow us to provide customers up to a 10-year repayment schedule, a loan up to $4,000 with an interest rate of 3%. Before we could actually implement the program, it did require Public Service Commission approval, in which we filed that application earlier this year. We did receive approval just recently, and so the final stage in order to fully be able to provide the programming is to update the ordinance to incorporate that language for the lead service line program replacement, which is in your packet. So as staff, we are recommending the approval of the proposed updates to the section 86-136 of the New Richmond Code of Ordinances, and then we further recommend suspension of the rules and approval of.
Mike, you're on a roll to approve.
Okay, I'll offer a motion and suspend the rules, please, that we approve ordinance 631, if my vision works right, lead service line replacement as presented.
Second?
Discussion? Any questions? I take the roll, please.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Vries.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Passes. Bids programmable logic control PLC upgrade.
So earlier this year, staff solicited proposals from vendors for the PLC upgrade. Included in your packet, you can see the tabulation from the vendors as well as the actual proposal from Energetics. And this was reviewed by the Utility Commission at their most recent meeting. You can see in the bid tabulation a breakdown of the design, procurement, installation, training, and the net total cost. And you can see there's a pretty significant range, obviously, from $407,000 all the way upwards to $864,000. So it is a significant expense, but One nice thing with TPC is we also have the flexibility of whether we want to tackle this in 1 year or over multiple years. And so also depending on, in the future of other capital projects coming in the upcoming year, for example, when we bid out a project like the water tower, depending where some of those bids come in at, this gives us some more flexibility. City staff, along with Mike Hedges from the Utility Commission, did interviews earlier this summer and also checked references. And the recommendation from that group, as well as the Utility Commission, was to award the project to TPC in the amount of $407,000. Happy to answer any questions. And Alderman Vrees serves on the Utility Commission as well, so if you have any questions.
Why don't we get a
from him.
motion?
I'll move to approve the $407,000 from TPC for the SCADA upgrade.
I'll second it.
How does there, like, over twice as much? I don't understand.
So a couple of the vendors, I would say, are a little more familiar with our system. And some cases, it's also just the size of the vendor. Do they have the capacity to take something on like this? And so, some of these companies are larger than others. In some cases, it may have been something that, in terms of the scope of the project, that maybe they misunderstood something, that where they came in and bid something higher, or, there's always a multitude of factors that goes into it, so.
Before we did this, did we have an estimate? What did we think it was going to cost?
Yeah, so our, for the capital improvement plan, we had estimated $250,000. Again, not knowing necessarily where the bids were going to come in at, so it is higher than what we had expected. But again, having the flexibility to potentially do it over multiple years would also help if we feel like it doesn't make sense to do the entire thing all in 1 year, so.
Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Volkert?
Yes.
Alderman Montello?
Yes.
Alderman Vrees?
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier?
Yes.
Alderman Gartner?
Motion passes. Next item, bids for portable generators.
This item also went to the Utility Commission here at their recent meeting. If you recall, staff had previously solicited bids for the portable generators, and actually we had a unit that arrived and did not meet our specifications. Later on, then the vendor indicated that they weren't going to be able to meet our specifications, so that unit was returned, and we solicited bids. And actually, we were pleasantly surprised with the results. We thought, okay, we were potentially now postponing this project, and now the cost is going to be up. However, you can actually see when you look through the bid tabulation, again, pretty wide range, from $59,000 all the way upwards to $159,000. But what you see here is actually this bid came in less than what the previous bid did. And so this was reviewed by the Utility Commission at their most recent meeting as well. And the recommendation would be to award the contract for the purchase of 2 trailer-mounted portable generators to North Star Logistics in the amount of $59,364, so the low bidder.
I'm sorry, Noah, what did you say the first dollar amount?
You're probably 75, 80. Yeah.
It's in the neighborhood of $20,000 less.
Yeah.
The world has changed. A couple of years ago, for sure. I'll offer a motion that we approve awarding this bid to North Star Logistics for $59,364.
I'll second it.
Alderman Montello?
Yes.
Alderman Vrees?
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier?
Yes.
Alderman Gartner?
Yes.
Alderman Volkert?
Yes.
Passes. Bids for grapple bucket.
So earlier this year, staff brought forward discussion in regards to some equipment to the Public Works Committee. One piece of that equipment is called a grapple bucket. This piece of equipment was recommended in order to help operations at the compost site as well as curbside pickup. As we do that, the committee at that time authorized staff to solicit bids. We did receive 3 bids. last month, which was brought forward to the public committee for review. The public committee recommended the low bid from Lindstrom Equipment in the amount of $18,300. And that is being recommended this evening for council's approval.
Move to approve the $18,300 bid for Lindstrom equipment.
Second?
Money come from the compost site then? Funds?
Comes from the compost fund, correct?
And well, just, and Rand, you said the public committee, you meant Public Works.
Committee.
Roll, please.
Alderman Vreese,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Passes. Next item, request for authorization to solicit bids for truck number 36.
And this item was included as part of the 2025 capital improvement plan. It would be looking to quote out a request for a half-ton pickup for the electric department. They would be pursuing either a new or slightly used piece of equipment for this. So again, at this point, we're just requesting authorization to go out and solicit those bids, and then those would be brought back to the Utility Commission and the City Council. So all we need is just a recommendation or an approval for us to solicit the bids.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
And then I just want to clarify here. So we're replacing the 2005 Dodge Ram, but we're keeping the 2006 Chevy half-ton truck as well.
Correct.
2005 Ram.
Roll, please.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello,
Abstain.
Alderman Vreese.
Yes.
Passes. RFQ for industrial development consulting services. Recommendation.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight in your packet, we put together some information regarding the request for qualifications for industrial services. As you might recall, this started with our Forward Enrichment Group, looking at ways that we could partner with a consulting firm to help us with any type of economic development, including industrial development. So we put out an RFQ, or request for qualifications, a few months ago. We received 5 groups, consulting groups, that had a really good packet of information. We decided to interview all of them. Noah Rayan, Mike Montello, and Kent Elkin from Forward Enrichment was on the interviewing committee. Interviewed all 5 groups. We kind of broke that down to 3 groups that we felt were really qualified. We sent them a list of questions. They responded back. And based on their responses to the questions and based on their interview, we ended up picking one group. So we ended up picking SRF Consulting Services. We have not worked much with this group before, but they were really impressive. I think all 5 of us put them as our number 1. And so what we're recommending today for the council is to move forward with consulting services from SRF. And take any questions.
I'm just going to add that it's hard because of the diversity of the groups, and particularly we're trying to touch a number of different boxes. So there's an engineering aspect, there's a marketing aspect, there's something beyond all of that. And so really, it's not just a matter of hard science. And I think that I kind of went into that thinking we were trying to hire somebody, or were we going to try to hire somebody to build a new industrial park? And I came away with, no, not that per se. It's really to advise us on what direction we should go, what we should do with our current industrial park, to really take a much bigger view of the process. And I will tell you all that sitting there, it kind of felt to me at times like trying to bottle smoke. The challenges are really quite varied, and there is no simple answer. Sure, if you didn't have to borrow money, If the return was guaranteed, it would be much easier. So I think the need for the professional help couldn't be stronger after sitting through that. And so I heartily endorse what I endorsed as part of that interview committee.
Is that a motion?
How much land do we still have in the industrial park?
We probably have about 50 acres,
How long have we owned it?
30 years,
Years?
I think it's over 30 years, Beth.
probably 35.
Maybe predates you.
It probably does.
That's broken up this,
Which is hard to do, Mike. Let's be honest.
that's broken up to
Well,
small pieces here and
It
there.
is broken up into small pieces, correct?
Just for the record, I predate you. So
Okay.
there you have it. But I do think that a question was posed to me that we really don't know. So answering the question of the who is easy. Answering the question of the how much is hard. Another question was asked of me, what are we going to spend? And it really depends on what the scope of work is that we have. And is that a discussion for another day?
I think so. I think this really is just going with the recommendation from our group that did the interviewing to have the council give us the go-ahead on this so we can start having those conversations. Because we have some ideas, and I put them in the memo, right? These are the things we're looking to accomplish, but we need to meet up with this group and say, how do we do it? What do we do in what year? What makes sense? And this group, I think, is intelligent enough to guide us through this whole process.
So your vision is that you will be coming back to the council with, I'm sorry, a dollar amount for scope of work.
And/or a plan, right? Here's what
Yeah.
we're thinking over the next 2 to 3 years.
But I mean,
Yep.
if somebody asked today, how much are we going to spend? We don't know. And we're not approving to spend anything. We're just
No.
approving who we're going to spend it with. So I think it's a good approach.
Like this seems a lot like in the tourism committee where we wanted to come up with a marketing plan, and we then interviewed and selected a marketing firm. Then they came back to us about the how much. Here's what you can get for this. Here's what we can do for this. So it wasn't really à la carte necessarily, but it sounds like this is similar to that. We really need to know from them how much it's gonna cost us to do what we think we want.
That's right.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for selling all the land. But it's also been circulated around as far as us buying more land. And it's like, if we're gonna sit on it for 30 years, I wouldn't be in support of that. Unless
Tom,
you've got a buyer.
Yeah, no,
mean,
we're really
let me-
not looking at that at this point, right? We're looking at what does this group see as New Richmond's future and really getting into some statistics and those
Yeah,
types of things.
I want to add this, Tom, that it's, I mean, I think you have a valid point, but we're not even close to that.
Right.
We have to determine what should we be doing, what should the focus be? I don't think the first question is, should the city have another industrial park? I think there's a number of questions before that. But if that ever floats to the surface, then I think, and I think your concern is well-founded, but we're not even close to that. And the idea behind hiring this consulting group isn't, if anybody walks out of here thinking, well, the city okayed because they were going to have a new industrial park, nope, we're not at that point yet. We just need to kind of look at the whole idea behind it. So, but I think your comment's well regarded. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion, and I don't want to cut down, go ahead.
The only reason I say that, it even says that right in here. Possible creation of a new industrial park.
Sure. But keep in mind, you can't go into this saying no, right? I mean, you can say that, but I don't think that's smart to say that because we're not at a point whether we've answered the question as to whether that makes sense or not. I understand kind of the preconceived notion, but the committee didn't go into this thinking, we're going to get a new industrial park, let's hire somebody. No. We need help with the roughly 50 acres we have left. What's the direction of the city going to be? So we didn't do this. That's kind of what I thought in the beginning, and I was quickly abated in my mind that that's not at all. It's more of an overview of what we're doing and what should we be doing. But it is definitely not the idea that we're just doing this so we can build a new industrial park. We're not anywhere as close to that.
Okay.
So, but I think it's a valid concern. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we enter into an agreement with SRF Consulting Group with the discussion about what the cost is going to be based on our use at another time.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
If I missed this, Beth, where are they from? I'm sorry.
They're over in the Twin Cities.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello,
Yes.
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Passes. Replacement of fire department truck 3265.
As the council is aware, we've been discussing for several months now the possible replacement of one of our fire trucks. Truck 3265 is a 2006 vehicle, has over 88,000 miles. It was purchased used when we acquired it. Typically, when it comes to a frontline apparatus like that, you'd hope to get 15 years, and then after that, either it would be a candidate for refurbishment, or you would put that more kind of as a backup or secondary vehicle. Whereas for us, it's being used for the majority of our calls. When it went through its annual service inspections last year, there were several deficiencies noted. Probably one of the most critical is just the condition of the frame. Is rusted, potentially has a crack in it. There are other things that we were able to address just in the short term, but other things where really when they did the inspection, they recommended that we look at replacing the vehicle. So earlier this year, we published a request for qualifications. We sent that out to 3 different vendors. 2 of them were interviewed, so they submitted written proposals and met with a committee consisting of staff as well as 2 members of the fire board. So Rita Keating from the town of Star Prairie and then Mike Montello from the city council. And then over the last few months, we've been working with those vendors really to look at what they can provide that would meet the needs of our department. When you look at a purchase of this size and scope, you're talking a lot of money, and it's also one of those things that we hope that this vehicle serves our needs for many years. However, there's so many different options that can be customized, and obviously costs have gone up in this market in particular. What you see is a handful of companies that really dominate the market. And in some cases, you're looking 3 or 4 years out before that truck would even arrive. And so you're kind of balancing what are the wants, what are the needs, what can we afford, and also the time sensitivity of we don't feel we can wait 4 years for a replacement vehicle. And so going through that process with the 2 vendors, looking at their various options, a lot of meetings that in time that the committee spent going through the vehicle specifications, we feel like we've identified a vehicle and a vendor that would be a good fit for the Richmond Fire Department. And so we had a fire board meeting last week, Thursday, and talked through these options. And our recommendation from staff and from the fire board is to proceed with accepting a proposal from Fire Service, Inc. And this would be for one E1 stainless steel EMAX rescue pumper. That cost is over $1 million. So it's $1,084,765. We're looking at 12 to 14 month lead time. So we would hope that this vehicle would arrive in December of 2026. Now there's some time sensitivity, not just because of the condition of the existing vehicle, but knowing that in November, there's a 4.5% cost increase that goes into effect, as well as new vehicle emission standards. So at this time, we have an engine that they've essentially been holding for us, but it's starting in 2027, new vehicle emission standards go into effect. And so just the cost of upgrade or a different engine would be $85,000 increase. And so, so looking ahead at that cost increase, 4.5% on $1 million fire truck is a lot of money. And when it comes to the production timeline, again, you only have a handful of companies. There's limited production slots. And so, when we look at this E1, they have 2 production slots per month. And so, right, even this week, there could be some other fire trucks that are ordered that suddenly get ahead of us in line. And so we didn't want to rush into this. This has been several months. But at the same time, it's important to make a decision on it. So the fire board discussed this. Obviously, while this is a city department, we serve the surrounding townships and village. I can tell you that on Thursday evening, both the town of Stanton and the town of Richmond boards had their meeting and both approved and were supportive of this. And I know that some of the other town boards are meeting here this week. Included in the agenda packet, you'll see the cost share and breakdown by the municipality. So for the city share, we're looking at 55.5%, which would be just over $600,000. And then no down payment is required, which might surprise you because you think a purchase of that amount. And yet, even if down the road, if we were to back out of that, they would sell that truck in a heartbeat and probably for more money as well. So while we want to be able to proceed and get the truck into production, that is a little nice flexibility to have, knowing that we don't have to put 25% or 50% down payment today. Each jurisdiction would be responsible for its own financing, and so some of the communities have been setting aside dollars. Others would be looking to proceed with borrowing. But at this time, we would look to make a decision this evening. And so the recommendation from staff and from the fire board was to proceed with Fire Service Inc. As outlined in the memo.
I just wanted to add, I don't think you mentioned that if this truck isn't built before the end of calendar year 2026, on January 1st, 2027, there is a new emissions rule that goes into effect that would raise the cost of this truck $85,000. Actually, just the engine goes up $85,000. And it's just important for everybody to understand that this is the truck that is our primary response vehicle for accidents, which I think is the majority of kind of the calls we're making right now. But this is the first truck to go out. It's got some frame issues. We had a situation earlier this summer. There was a car fire in the south end of town, and this truck was dispatched, and the foam dispensing unit on it was inoperative. So that car had to burn a little bit longer because it's much harder to put out with water. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the need is definitely there. And it's a hard pill to swallow because it's a lot of money. But I'm going to repeat something I said at the fire board meeting. In some ways, the new profanity to use when you're talking about public things has to do with private equity, because that's who owns these fire apparatus companies. And we've seen an extreme reduction in the number of companies who do this work. And so stop and think about this for a second. $1 million truck, and they won't need any money down because they know if we don't take delivery of it a little bit over a year from now, they got people in line to get it. So I think that asking our fire department staff to obviously respond to these things and not have equipment they can depend on, and that is the reality of where we're at with the truck that we currently have. And it is just a matter of time until that truck is no longer serviceable. We're not even guaranteed that it's going to make it. The current truck we have that will still be serviceable by December of next year. So that's really is the time push here. So
That $1 million+ does that take into account the monies that are supposedly set aside for it?
So for the last few years, as part of the capital budget, we've had a future vehicle replacement fund. And so communities have been levying for that amount, but whether communities have actually been, allocating those dollars to reduce the amount that they have to borrow has really been up to each municipality. So it's not that the city is holding on to those dollars on their behalf or anything like that.
So we don't
How about
know.
us?
Would have to, our amount that we would be borrowing would be the full 600.
we haven't set aside. I think the answer is
We have not set
Greg's
aside.
question. I'm sorry, I'll offer a motion that we approve Resolution 102505. Oh, sorry, I'm ahead of myself. That's never happened before. Just
One done right
the
now.
motion for the replacement of the fire department truck 3265 as presented in the memo.
I'll second it.
The question I have is, we're responsible for 55.5%. Is that based on number of residents?
Calls.
in-
Calls.
There's three criteria that that's based upon. So it's based upon equalized value, it's based upon the number of calls, and then population. 5-year average of those.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Motion passes. Resolution 102505, application for state trust fund loan.
Yes. So in your packet is the full application and the detail of the resolution in there. I'm kind of breaking down what all of that means. So as we've been building the new library, the kind of capital stack for funding that has been multifold, from donations, fundraising, cash on hand, grants, as well as borrowing. So earlier this year, the Community Development Authority issued $10 million in what's called revenue lease bonds to pay for a large share of the library, but we also had then cash on hand along with some grants that we have received, but we still had an amount remaining that we need potentially borrow for as we got closer to completion of the project. And so with where we're at, nearing kind of our final stages, while there's, still quite a bit of the interior build out to occur in the next couple of months, we do feel that we are in a position where we can take these dollars out through the state trust fund loan, continue to efforts of fundraising to help reduce down our overall debt when we end up refinancing some of this. But this would help us then cover our remaining obligations to date that through the end of this year. So we are recommending use of the state trust fund loan to cover that gap. When we started initial construction, we estimated the project to be between 15 and 16 million. With where we're at to date and where we anticipate the project to be completed is somewhere between 15.1 and 15.5. So on the higher end of that, we have a gap of about 1.6 million, which is why we have incorporated that into the state trust fund loan. The state trust fund loan we have used in the past. This is a good mechanism for us from an interim financing perspective. There are no issuance costs associated with the loan program. We can repay it back at any time. So what we are proposing to do is take a 2-year loan through the state trust fund program that would require the first payment to be in 2027. There would not be a payment requirement in 2026 because we're taking and then what we would do as part of our 2026 financing is actually refinance the state trust fund loan with the hope of achieving better market interest rates when we go to the open market and issue. So with that, I can certainly address any questions that you have. There are 2 actions for the council to consider this evening. The first one being the approval to submit the application, ID 05606-219 for the state trust fund loan. And then the second recommendation is approval of resolution 102505, which is the application for the state trust fund. 05606-219, and we did need to read all of those numbers for record.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we, can we do this as one motion?
I would recommend that we do 2 motions and then we,
Okay, I'm going to offer the first motion to approve to submit the application ID 05606-219 for state trust fund loan.
I'll second it.
Questions?
I'm just going to, So we're gonna do the math right. So we're gonna have a $10 million loan. We know about that. That's separate. And this 1.6, so we'd have $11.6 million of financing if we don't raise a dollar more of donations or receive any more grants. So worst case scenario, that's where we're at.
Can you talk about the best case scenario, Mike? I mean, you always don't want to talk about.
Sure, we owe nothing. That would be the best case.
Where I wanna be.
Pete, if you would just open that checkbook, we'd get her down to zero.
Let a dreamer.
How much money I got in my wallet?
Made a motion, Mike, for
I
the
did.
first? I'll
Yeah.
second that then. If not,
I think,
Tom seconded.
That was second already. Yep.
all right.
Yep.
Anything else? Take the roll, please.
Alderman Montello,
yes,
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
yes.
Passes.
Then I'll offer a further motion, another motion to approve Resolution 102505, application for state trust fund loan, ID number 05606-219.
Second.
Second.
I heard Pete. Oh, sorry.
Any questions on that?
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Passes. Any communication or miscellaneous?
Yep, I did a tour of the library with Noah on Friday, and I want to tell you, I'm very
So,
impressed. Time I had been in there, and not only with the library space and how that's coming, but the apartments upstairs and how this, you know, in the last 6 weeks, you can see how much has been done. A lot to do in the next 6 weeks, too.
to that end, Noah, can you just give us a comment about what you understand the number of leases that have been written for those 69 apartment units?
Yeah, so they're tracking right now for folks to start moving in already in November, and obviously a lot of work to do yet in the coming weeks. But last I heard, they had roughly 45 leases signed. Now it doesn't mean that all those people are moving in on day one, but that shows obviously there's a lot of demand, and every day they're doing showings, and that number will continue to tick up. And then the library right now is tracking for completion at the end of December.
So I just wanted to add that I was through there a couple of weeks ago and was able to take a picture on the third floor, one of the corner apartments balcony, and it was really impressive. I think it's going to be one of the more desirable places to rent in the city of Richmond with its proximity to downtown. I'm super impressed with the way the building looks. And for what it's worth, when I drove by there tonight on my way here, they were putting asphalt down on arch, which I think is permanent, to fill whatever utility work they did. And there was lights on in some of the apartments, and it's interesting because when you looked, I mean, it's like, you know, from the street, you're looking up there, and it looked like those apartments are finished. And I actually think some of them are very close to being finished.
Yeah, carpeting's been going in. Parking lot was paved today, and yeah, they're working yet this evening on the street. So landscaping work started last week. So we'll take advantage of the nice weather here and try to get as much done as we can. Some landscaping will probably have to get finished more in the spring, but yeah, everything's coming together.
Planning on moving again?
Jim, I've learned after 46 years of marriage, never to say never.
Any other communication or miscellaneous?
Sorry. Just a reminder that Rotary and Kiwanis are sponsoring Scary Park this Saturday. So that neighborhood will be fantastically busy. It's super fun to watch all the cars go through. And they will be utilizing Mary Park for setup. And so certainly the park isn't ever closed, but it will be harder to find a place to park on Saturday during the day.
Wouldn't it make some sense, Michelle, like maybe if we handed out tax bills that night?
I feel like,
That'd
why
be
don't you think I already do that? Of course.
Scary.
Yes.
Any other communication?
I received an email this evening from Steve Massey, Westfields Hospital, and I'll forward it on to the council too. But it was just an invitation. They have their 75th anniversary celebration on Sunday, October 26th from 2 to 4 o'clock at Ready Randy's. So I'll forward this on to you as well. But he just wanted to extend an invitation to the council. So.
Not, to your motion, go into closed session per state statute 19.5, 19.85, 1E.
So I'll offer that motion.
Second.
Take the roll, please.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner, Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Breeze.
Yes.
Closed session.